up with this beautiful concept, but
Genius.
So-
All right, that's fine. Yeah.
I
Like
don't
where
know.
where could we could make the tape measure come out its mouth? No, I got an idea.
That's true.
Huh?
That's true.
All right.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm just saying. Anyway,
But if it makes you happy,
That's
if
right.
it makes you happy, it's
That's all-
it's a
that's
form
all
of
that matters.
genius. That's how I see it.
it is a form of genius. So we were talking, and you when you got here earlier, we're like, I don't know how many lines of
I couldn't
fabric
remember.
there are,
I couldn't
right?
remember how many patterns there actually were, and we had to look back in there because there's so many. But I believe it's 23 of the yardage,
Of the yardage.
and then 2 of the wide backs.
Very
Yes.
nice. Very nice. And then there's also, the nice part about it is and I know, did we have the pre-cuts on the first line you did, or was that all just yardage? I don't remember.
There were
Did we have pre-cuts?
Yeah,
Okay.
there were pre-cuts.
So we've got, and this is tonal. I learned the word tonal, ladies and gentlemen. Tone on tone stuff, right? So very cool. And then, of course, all of the, do I need to move, Abby? Are you good? You're tracking? All right. And then the fat quarter bundles and then the layer cakes, right?
And-
The 10-inch squares.
And
So-
how we come up with these lines is, I'll look like if I'm out in the market looking at clothing, just whatever, if I see something that I'm seeing popping up and it just makes me happy, or I get excited about it, I'm like, oh, I think maybe that's trending. I
Right,
think
right.
that would be something fun. So everything that's like even like these kinds of patterns, like kaleidoscopes seem very magical, and these kind of funky, big, happy flowers. I just thought they'd be fun. They're different from the first line, so
Yeah.
we try to infuse that throughout the collections.
And that's
just
why I was
to
going to
keep it
ask you on
fresh.
inspiration on a lot of this stuff, because I know Jenny's talked, and she'll say, I was in a bathroom somewhere and saw this tile, and
Yeah.
and things just, you never know where you're going to get inspiration and
And you
stuff.
just, it's whatever, just you get that, like, oh, that just really intrigues me. And if you trust that, like if there's a design that you see and you're like, I'm just so excited about that. That motivates me to want to make something. That's the same thing with the fabric. Like you
Right.
just see, like Jenny said, little tile pattern, you're like, oh, that's fantastic. Or a color palette.
Yeah.
You just don't know when it's going to happen. It's very spontaneous, and it's kind of like those little magical moments. That's why it's a fun job, because you're absorbing that all the time,
Sure.
and then trying to create it and share it with other people so they can then have that as part of what they create.
Now, I don't think we had in the first, did you have a panel on the 1st one?
No, and this
Let's get this up here.
and this is kind of
Get
take
the duck out of
Ginny's
the way here.
box from
Look at that.
this last year's Ginny's box had the town.
You can applaud, ladies and
So-
gentlemen. Give it up. Yeah, that's right.
So I had already taken the time to create, so many little buildings with all the, little personalities inside. Like, there's Pearl the dog, and there's just so many different things, because this town is quite inspirational. It's it's a little magical place for quilters. So just taking those and switching them from Christmas and making them kind of year round. And just adding like the red truck, little houses, little quilts flowing in the breeze. Hot air balloons, which are floating quilts, right? So I thought that's a nice, mix. And of course, Chuck kind of here and there. So it's just a fun way you can even cut it up, I guess, into strips and connect it. And
All right. Have you been in a hot air balloon, speaking of that?
no, I'm kind of afraid of heights. I would.
What?
I mean, I think it's beautiful, but I don't know. I probably couldn't get past that.
So my wife, hot air balloon story here. So my wife, when she was been pregnant with, our middle son, I think, our youngest son. Either way, it doesn't matter. She was, and I think, well, no, she wasn't pregnant. She just had, anyway. She goes out to visit her sister out in Utah, and has a friend that has a hot air balloon that you then bungee jump out of. Yeah, so she did
Wow.
that. How's that? You want to do that? No,
Wow,
no.
she's brave.
Yeah, it scared me to death. I was home with the children while she's out jumping out of hot air balloons.
Well, it's a balance, right? The adventure,
Yeah, sure. It was like, Anyway, that just made me remember that story. So, anyway,
Well,
all right.
I admire that. That's
Well, it's,
amazing.
yeah, well, admiration's the right word, but anyway. So anyway, we've got a lot of folks here. Thank you guys for coming. That our studio audience, in-studio audience. So we've got a lot of folks from all over. You guys are just here, Southern Missouri, so yeah. Arizona, Washington, Oregon, Canada. Nice, thank you. What's that? Canada? Well, thank you guys. We appreciate y'all for coming to see us for sure. So, all right. Hey, I've got a couple other, these are kind of random questions because we want to know more. We want to get in the head of Jackie. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. A little closer? You want me to move it up? Is that better? How's that? Is that better? Yeah, yeah. All right, how's that? All right, so these are just, it's like one or the other. All right, one or the other is what we're doing here, Jackie. All right?
Okay.
Peanut butter or Nutella?
I don't, sugar's too much for me, probably the peanut butter.
Oh,
I'm having to take a break from
how's
the
the
sugar.
audience on that? All right.
It gives me a headache.
Oh, goodness. Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise?
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks?
Definitely.
Tom Cruise hanging from an airplane?
No.
All right, Pepsi or Coke?
I don't,
Pe-
the only kind of soda, the only kind of soda I've ever liked is root beer. I've never liked Coke or Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper's
Dr.
a big
Pepper's
one.
not bad. Yeah, I like Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
All right, I got you there.
Yeah.
How about pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Pizza. Huh? All right, what else did I have here? This will be the last one. All right, if you could travel in time travel, would you go to the future or into the past?
Well, one of my minors was actually ancient
I was
history.
going to say, one of my minors was time travel.
I
So,
wish that was available. No, but I would. It was, yeah, ancient art history, ancient history. So I would go back in time.
you go back in time. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. I just, it's just kind of some rando
Yeah.
questions.
How
but
about you? Time travel or?
yeah, I think
or
I'd go
back
back
in
in time too. I think I'd do the
In
same
what
thing.
era? Like knights, like swords?
No,
or-
no, that's a lot of work. You get a lot of chafing. I could be the king. Yes, I could be the king. No, I think like Western-y, like, Little House on the Prairie time, whatever time that is, huh?
Yeah, I can see that.
If I just had the Michael Landon hair, Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, so sometime like that.
Well, that's a stressful show. Little House on the Prairie. Every
What?
time I watch it, because they have these like really. I'm watching it like I don't think I can handle this.
Oh my goodness. So do we want to feature a couple of these? Look at some of these a little closer. What's some of your favorites out of this
Okay.
that you?
Yeah, that's hard. I loved this one. I think mainly because it was such a fun challenge to create and repeat, and we made I say we. I feel like it's a whole team effort sometimes, but.
Just take credit. You're in front of the camera. Go with it.
But I had to make a really large repeat because I didn't want it to repeat, I wanted it to feel more random. So when you have all these different, and you're trying to then make them match up, but then have the colors distribute. But I don't know. This one I just like. It just makes me happy.
So that
to
the
look at.
repeating process. I was
Yeah.
going to say, what is that? Is that the hardest part? Is figuring
No,
out how to make?
that's the most fun.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think that's the most fun because it's like a puzzle.
Right.
You not only you have all these pretty pieces and parts,
Yeah.
and how do you get them to go together and then go on forever, infinitely in a beautiful
Right.
way? So that's what I think is fun. So I like this colorway. I know there's a darker one, but I don't know, this one just for whatever reason.
And we've also
like-
got where's the one with Chuck? Chuck's popular,
Yeah, where's Chuck?
Get
Oh,
Chuck
here's
out.
Chuck.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
Chuck. Here's the.
And you've
one
got him
on
in a
the
couple of different
guitar.
colorways, right there. Is that?
And here he is
All
on.
right.
So we have kind of the bright, fun one, and they're both fun, and then the darker one. And then to make it a little different than before, periodically he has a little colorful umbrella.
Oh, I
so
see
it just
that.
gives a little pop of
I'll
color.
point out the umbrella.
Because really, Chuck can do anything.
That's
so
right.
He's all
All right.
kinds of
Very
ways
cool.
to present him.
And then we've got a couple of, what you said, the wide backs, right, for the backing?
Yes, and which,
I
so
don't
they'd be
know.
larger. There's like a large floral.
No, you don't have it? Oh, we're getting the don't have it signal out
Oh,
here.
never, okay. Well, we can at least show,
Yeah.
it's like a large
It's going to be a version of that. Okay.
of this. And I think, if I remember correctly, a large version of this.
So these will be available in the wide
Yeah,
back.
so they'll be bigger, but,
Yeah. Very, very nice.
so, I don't know, this kind of reminds me of my childhood back in the 70s, you know, this is really, and there's some
Were your
little
parents
fringe.
hippies?
Oh, my mom,
Yeah?
because she's a potter, and she was definitely.
It's all coming together for us, Jackie.
She would grow all her own food, like in the backyard, and I remember she did photography, and I was like her main subject, and she had a little dark room, and yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool. That's a good story.
Okay.
All right. All right.
And let's see, I guess we can talk a little bit
Oh,
about.
yeah, that's fun. Get that
This
out here.
one's fun. It's kind of a different. So because the panel is, you know, traveling to Quilt Town, and it has lots of there's signs and different things, just did a toss of lots of like our shop signs, but then just fun quilting things. Quilting, my favorite detour, miles and miles of fabric. So there's just lots of fun little, and I guess you could cut them out. You could, you know, applique them, make patches out of them.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to make patches out of all those, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then I guess we need to also talk about the one with all the icons, because that's been updated.
All right.
Yes, this one. I like this one because it has all the fun little tools, and I just like little things, you know. So what's fun about this, it has our actual scissors. Like I use the shapes of our scissors and rotary cutter and colors of those, and toss them in with all the pre-cuts. So it's just, you know, it's just colorful and cute, and you know, and it's nice that it's just all randomly tossed everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Lots of fun. Well, that's very
lots of
cool.
fun stuff.
All right, I know we've got some, some questions. If anybody in the large studio audience here, does anybody have any questions? Want to ask Jackie?
How long does it take you to actually create a line?
Let me repeat that. I don't know if they can hear it down there.
Sure.
How long does it take you to actually create a line? Is what she wants to know.
It depends, because we'll brainstorm about the concept, and of course it's usually like a year out, but then I may work on it for a while, and then there's a break because I'm working on other projects, and I come back to it, and maybe there's some changes, or we have some other idea we want to add to it. So I'm honest, I don't know exactly how long it would take, but it is one of the more lengthy processes, just because there's so many, and they all have to coordinate. And you know, I have a whole team of people too that I work with that, you know, do all kinds of different things that will look at it and tell me, you know, it's the best function for when you're trying to make quilts. I haven't made a lot of quilts yet. I would like to. I've done more embroidery, like that's what I've been learning. Because before coming to Missouri Star, I just did design all the time. So now I'm learning about the fabric and how that works more. So
Well, so that's got, I mean, since you're just now getting into quilt, that's going to change the way you design fabric, I would think,
well, that's
right?
why
When you actually
I
use it.
depend on the experts right now,
Right.
and then as
That's you
I
folks.
learn, and I've got to actually like lay the shapes out and see how and that is fascinating, because that is an art form. When you see how all those things interlock and then the fabrics interplay, it's like another layer to the
Yeah.
art. So we're always growing, right?
Very interesting, very interesting. All right, and, oh, you've got a mic now, I see. We're fancy. Go ahead, what's the question?
I'm Sue. I'm on the sewing team here at Missouri Star. So,
Hi.
hi. My question was, do you think of like what color you want the fabric to be before you think of the pattern that you're going to put on it, or kind of what comes first in your mind, or is it both? Or
It can vary. Now for this, of course, we've been evolving the Missouri Star palette. This palette is very close to the other fabric line, but it's a little, I don't know if it's a little softer. It's just a little different, but it's all in the same family. So sometimes I may start with a color palette because we know what that is, and then I make a trend board with, you know, different styles that I like, and then build that out. So this one, we kind of already had a new palette established, and then we just take that and, you know, integrate it throughout.
Very nice, very nice. Any other questions out here? Do you have any online, Dalton? Is there anything?
Well, let me check for you.
All right,
here.
we'll check the online, but, yeah, go ahead.
How did you find Missouri Star, or how did they find you to design their fabric?
And the
Yeah.
question, since you don't have a mic, how did you find Missouri Star, or how did Missouri Star find you?
Sure. So prior to coming to Missouri Star, for about 10 years, I worked in the product design industry with stationery and all kinds of stickers and, I mean, everything you can imagine, T-shirts. And so it was right during COVID, and a friend of mine had taken a job here as a product manager, and she said, we really would love to have a product designer to help us with, designing product, because we want to expand the products for Missouri Star. And so I came and visited, and I was just so taken with it, and everybody here was so welcoming and great, and there were all these opportunities to be creative, so that's what I've been doing the past 3.5 years, so it's been a lot of fun.
Very good. Go ahead.
How long does it take for a product to go online? Like, did you
The
say-
question was, how long does it take for a product to go online? You mean like from conception to then we're actually selling it? Is that, okay?
And because I don't do all of the back, behind the scenes stuff, I just know we usually start about a year in advance. But there's lots of things that happen in between. It's not like it takes a full year, but, you need that time to get everything orchestrated.
Yeah, go ahead.
So where is this, after you get it designed, where is it printed? Where do you make the fabric?
I'm not 100% sure about that because that's not part of what I do. I believe it's Korea, maybe? But
Which is where most all the
I
fabrics
think
are
all the
printed.
fabric
yeah.
is, but like I said, I don't know, so don't quote me on that because I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that they give it to me and I'm like, oh, this feels really nice. The colors are great. Yes, the colors are correct. And then I pass it on to
And
somebody
that's
else.
because you get samples and
Yeah,
stuff
I get
and that you get to
swatches and-
approve and like, this doesn't look right. This isn't the colors I was looking for or whatever, right?
Yeah.
In that whole process?
Yep.
That's very cool.
And I'm not perfect. So if you see any, I do my best to comb through everything. But,
Right.
we do our best.
Go ahead.
So does the fabric, the cotton, does it come mostly from America and then we ship it over and they do the textile?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew more
I don't
about
know. I
that.
think it's a mix of a lot of the above, because the way the industry's changed over the
Import,
years.
export, I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of it's imported, and
Yeah.
so anyway. Dalton's got a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a couple questions from online here. First of all, does the Fat Quarter bundle have all the designs in it, Jackie? Do you know?
Take a look at that, Jackie.
That's what we were trying to figure out earlier. From looking at it, I am not 100% sure, but let me,
Because what you end up with 23.
just scanning it here.
Yes, ma'am. It does. Oh, we got confirmation.
Yeah, I
from-
mean, they're squished so tight, I'm like
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
hard to
count. I'm
tell.
like, it looks like a bunch. I think it's 23,
Yeah,
but
I think it is. It looks
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
And another one for you, Jackie. How do you find your inspiration when you're starting to design a line?
I feel like that switch is always flipped on. I could be at the grocery store with my husband. I could be just hanging out with my daughters. I could just be, looking at clothing. I see stuff, and my husband and I share an iCloud account, and he gets so angry because I take so many pictures. Because I see stuff all the time, and I'm just like, snapping random pictures of swatches. And then, because I use those. I'm like, well, get your own iCloud account. And he doesn't. But he doesn't want to have to figure it out, so he just uses mine. But I take all those and then I save them back and I build out trend boards and I save them for future reference. Because sometimes, I'm just blown away by something and I just know instinctively I just have to capture that.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's kind of like a good meal when you're out to eat somewhere. Thinking,
If I was a chef, that's what I
yes,
would
it'd be
do.
perfect.
Yeah.
I think Dalton's got someone else online.
Yeah, we've got one more from Shannon online. She wants to know, are there other products at Missouri Star that you've designed, Jackie?
Yes. I'd say my favorite right now is all the embroidery line stuff. I've been doing more embroidery and I get to help test. So from Ingrid's, the Enchanted Christmas, the Garden Friends, which is like my favorite now because it's the newest, and I got to design a lot of the birds and things. I do occasionally have some great freelance help of designers that I've worked with in the past, and I'll say, I'm overwhelmed, can you help me? And we'll work together on some of the peel and stitch designs and things. Michelle was a great help for me, and Rachel, so I just want to make a call out for them because they're always great. But yeah, so embroidery stuff, Jenny's box, the outside of the box, the packaging, a lot of the products in Jenny's box. More that I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've done a lot in the past 3 years.
So talk about your greatest design work. How many kids do you have? What do you got going on there?
I have 2 daughters.
Right.
I'm very proud of them. My youngest daughter is a paramedic. And
Oh, nice.
She's super young. She's only 22, but she's out there, doing that, and
I've got a niece that does that too.
yeah,
And she just
she
loves
loves
it.
excitement. She's always been, and they both have bright red hair. Both my daughters do. So my youngest, she's just, and then my oldest actually went to art school in Pennsylvania, and she now has her BFA, and she's working at a major retailer as the display artist. So she makes the big displays for the windows. She lives in Chicago. My youngest daughter lives in Kansas City.
Is that
Yeah.
Bachelor's of Fine Arts? I was just trying to go through all
Yes,
the all the
Bachelor of Fine Art.
all the
I think- I'm
acronyms
trying
there
to
that I could
remember
think of.
what-
I thought of some not good ones, and then came back to the art one. So
Yes,
it was
yes.
close.
Yes.
It was close.
Art.
Anyway, whew, that was close. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody else out here? Anybody in the back? No? All right. So, well, Jackie, I think it's been great. This is a beautiful line. It goes on sale today. I think it's it's obviously in the shops, and I think it's online, and everything is rocking and rolling. So we really appreciate you coming, and
thank you.
and keep making magic. And I'm glad you didn't have anything to do with this.
I still love it. Like I'm gonna probably try to sneak one of these home.
We can get you one.
can
We
have it.
know people, so we can get you taken care of. But anyway, give it up for Jackie Fulton, everybody. Yeah. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody for coming out today. Thanks for everybody that's online watching, and we do so much appreciate you. We love you, and you guys have a great day. Thank you. All right. Yay!